The order is likely next week, possibly by Tuesday. Until then, Arvind Kejriwal, the Delhi Chief Minister, stays inside Tihar jail. Remember, he returned to Tihar jail earlier this month after coming out on bail for campaigning in this election. He had to go in just before the results. He was supposed to come out today after that Rouse Avenue court had given him bail. But now the Delhi High Court, after aggressive arguments that have been continuing now, says that the arguments will continue. Order likely only next week. They've issued notice. Arguments concluded. Order has been reserved at this point of time. So net Arvind Kejriwal stays in jail at this point of time. It's possible that he will get bail next week, but for the next 2-3 days he remains in jail. Nalin Kohli of the BJP is with me live. He's also a lawyer. Nalin, your first reactions, first word on what's happened in the Delhi High Court today. Arvind Kejriwal stays in jail. He got bail from the Rouse Avenue court yesterday. That bail hasn't come through at the Delhi High Court level today. Your reaction on this, Nalin?
So, a couple of things I'd like to say. And as a practicing lawyer, it's important for your viewers also to know what is the legal process. Anyone can apply for bail, and the court will decide whether a bail is to be given or not, whether it's the ED or whether if there is a rejection, there is a request for.
Okay, I think we've lost that line with Nalin. We'll try and get back to him. While we're waiting for Nalin, let me bring in Nalini Sharma, our correspondent as well, in on this. Nalini, just break it down for us. Srishti was explaining, in comprehensive detail what has happened today and what the possibilities are going forward over the next couple of days. Give us your understanding and break it down for us.
Well, Shiv, first things first, there was a temporary stay that was put in by the High Court on the trial court order, saying that the proceedings before the trial court should not go on till the time the High Court doesn't decide this matter. So that stay has been extended for the next 2 to 3 days, which means for the next 2 to 3 days, there is no scope for Arvind Kejriwal to come out of jail on bail. Now, by Tuesday maximum is when Justice Sudhir Kumar Jain, who was a single judge bench hearing the case before the High Court, has said that the final order from the High Court is going to be out on the aspect of whether or not there will be a permanent stay on the trial court order that has granted bail to Arvind Kejriwal. So maximum by Tuesday. So either on Monday or Tuesday, we will be expecting that order, because Saturday, Sunday, the Delhi High Court is going to be off. So it remains to be seen exactly what happens on Monday or Tuesday when the final order comes, whether or not it will be in the favor of the ED or Arvind Kejriwal, through which the trial court order might be upheld by the Delhi High Court. But that still remains to be seen. We were getting minute-to-minute updates of what was happening in the Delhi High Court, and there was a point when there were very heated arguments between the ED as well as Arvind Kejriwal regarding the bail, because essentially it's a matter to do with the liberty of not just any common citizen, but the sitting Chief Minister of Delhi. And along with that, the kind of observations that have been made in the trial court order about the evidence that the ED has, where the trial court's gone to the extent of saying that the evidence is insufficient. So keeping that in mind as to whether or not it's okay for the High Court to reverse the order is something that the Kejriwal's lawyers were very strongly and staunchly opposing before the High Court. Now, ED on one side has claimed that they were not given a fair hearing before the trial court, but it's interesting to point out that this allegation or this objection was never raised by the ED before the trial court itself. If they felt like they weren't given a fair hearing, they never raised that before the vacation judge of the trial court. They're only mentioning it before the High Court. Now, whether that's a legal strategy or whether that's a last-minute plan that the ED has made is something that still remains to be seen. But for now, the arguments have concluded. The order's technically been reserved. And on Monday or Tuesday, we can expect for the High Court decision on whether or not there will be a permanent stay on with Kejriwal's bail or not.
And I want to just tell all of our viewers that our legal reporting team is out in full strength to break this story down for us, because there are many nuances which even I have to confess, want clarifications on. So they're the best team to get us those clarifications. Amit Bhardwaj is getting us the political fallout of these twists and turns being taken. Because remember, today, politically, the Aam Aadmi Party was fully prepared for Arvind Kejriwal to walk out of jail. There were celebrations last night as well. So we'll get that aspect in. Before that, I want to go to Kanu Sarda, who's also joining us on this. Kanu, if you could just quickly summarize for us the arguments that the Enforcement Directorate made, opposing this bail. Just very quickly summarize what their argument was.
Well,
Well, sir, the main argument which was put forward by ED is that they have not got enough time to argue their case. Enough opportunity was not granted to them to put their case forward. The documents were not relied. The trial court judge relied on the half-baked information and passed that order. So all kind of aspiration, things were made against that judge also, on which the other side, the Kejriwal side, also raised objections that as to how aspersions can be casted on the trial court judge at this point of time, because she has applied her mind when she has given the bail. So all kind of things. The main contention that the ED has raised is that they have not got enough opportunity, and the trial court passed the order in a haste manner, and this is why the High Court has agreed to heard the matter at length today, and that is why the formal notice has been issued in this case, and the High Court has said that they will give since the issue involves the liberty of a person, that is why they are saying that they will give the order in next 2 to 3 days.
Okay, stay with me, all of you. I want to bring in Amit as well, and then I'm going to go back to our legal reporting team. Amit, the Aam Aadmi Party obviously had plans to welcome Arvind Kejriwal out of jail today. They've been describing the ED approaching the High Court as, a part of this dictatorship, etc. That's in the political sphere. But what is their political strategy right now? For the next 2-3 days, the suspense continues.
Right, Shiv. The Aam Aadmi Party was all geared up since last evening when this order came out, and they were actually surprised when the order came out in favor of Arvind Kejriwal. And they hoped that today Arvind Kejriwal would be walking out by this time that we are speaking, from Tihar jail, and it would have been a grand welcome for the Aam Aadmi Party chief and Delhi chief minister. Obviously bigger than what we had seen during the Lok Sabha elections when he had came out for 21 days. But now everything will be on hold. On the other side, the focus will be on the, Pani Satyagraha that is being held by Atishi. But honestly, they are also very nervous right now as to what is going to be the decision, and the nervousness is
Amit,
also
stay with me. Apologize for interrupting you. The lawyer of Arvind Kejriwal speaking. Let's just listen in quickly and come back to you.
सुनो, यस, आज कोर्ट में हमने जो एप्लीकेशन कैंसिलेशन ऑफ बेल पेश की, उसके अंदर सुनने के बाद कोर्ट ने स्टे किया है बेल का ऑर्डर, केजरीवाल का बेल ऑर्डर स्टेड है। मंडे तक रिटर्न सबमिशन देने को कहा है 2-3 पेज का, उसके बाद ऑर्डर आएगा।
सर, ये ऑर्डर जो रिजर्व हुआ है आपकी एप्लीकेशन जो स्टे के लिए थी उसके ऊपर रिजर्व हुआ है?
यस, मेन कैंसिलेशन वाली पेंडिंग है।
नोटिस इशू हो गया है?
नोटिस इशू, हाँ, हो गया।
तो सर ये अभी
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने आज जो है केजरीवाल का बेल ऑर्डर स्टे कर दिया। हमारी स्टे एप्लीकेशन जो है उसके ऊपर ऑर्डर किया है और फाइनल ऑर्डर 2-4 दिन में आएगा, और मेन बेल कैंसिलेशन की जो एप्लीकेशन है उसकी सुनवाई बाद में होगी। उसमें नोटिस इशू हुआ है।
अब सर इन्होंने ऑर्डर तो रिजर्व कर लिया, 2-3 दिन बाद ऑर्डर प्रोनाउंस का, क्या उम्मीद है दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट से सर?
उम्मीद के बारे में मैं बात नहीं कर सकता।
स्टे कंटिन्यू होगा सर? मैं
उम्मीद और स्टे उसकी मैं बात नहीं, अभी स्टे दिया है तो उसके ऊपर से आप जो है जो अनुमान करना है कर लीजिएगा। ठीक है,
ठीक है सर, थैंक यू।
Okay, that was the ASG, SV Raju. He's the counsel for the enforcement director in this case, and he's also mentioned what Nalini was telling us. This is a stay on any proceedings at the Rouse Avenue court level until the Delhi High Court has taken a decision on granting bail to Arvind Kejriwal, and that will only happen in the next couple of days. Just a quick legal clarification, Srishti, I want to bring you in on this, and the reason I'm asking is because many of our viewers may not fully, understand or appreciate the legal nuances of why it needs 2-3 days more. Can you explain that for us? If the arguments have already happened, why couldn't a decision on bail be taken today itself?
Well, sure, we often see that there are cases when hearings happen and arguments are made on both the sides. The judge decides to, pronounce a matter that moment itself, right after the hearing. Yesterday, as we saw, once the hearing got concluded before Delhi's Rouse Avenue court, the court concluded as soon as the arguments had concluded, the judge went back to her chamber and started dictating the order, and the order was pronounced the same day. This case, however, of course, that's something that's also the judge's discretion, how much time they want to take stake, but considering the matter here, of course it's a serious matter, and also involves a lot of submissions which are being made before this particular judge for the first time. The judge is not, it's not the same bench which hears the Delhi excise matters on a regular basis. Considering the records are voluminous and arguments, detailed arguments have been made on both sides, it does take time for the court to consider all the arguments and then, dictate an order, prepare an order, and then come to a conclusion, which is why possibly 2 to 3 days time is what the court has taken to analyze the arguments on both sides and, then come out with an order. Back to you.
Okay, stay with us. Amit, we had to interrupt you because we were getting that soundbite live from the Enforcement Directorate's lawyer, S.V. Raju. Continue to tell us what the Aam Aadmi Party's strategy is going to be for the next couple of days. Today they also had a, satyagraha on water. So there were many things happening today, and suddenly that bail came out of the blue yesterday. Many people were completely surprised by bail being granted, by the Rouse Avenue Court lawyer. So what happens over the next 2-3 days politically from the AAP side?
Shiv, they are definitely going to stay nervous as far as the High Court reserving this order is concerned, because so far there has been a trend that whenever the orders have been reserved in this manner and fashion, things have not been really bright for Aam Aadmi Party, as far as the legal battles are concerned. So they will remain on their toes, nervous about this entire situation, but they'll hope that things turn in their favor. And obviously, whenever they had hoped for, they had least hope, the courts have given them a sort of relief, whether it be the interim relief that was given to Arvind Kejriwal or Sanjay Singh's regular bail that was given in this particular case as well. Now, strategically, yes, they will be, wait and watch stance as far as this bail thing is concerned. On the other side, Pani Satyagraha, water Satyagraha will remain their focused area of battle for now. Back to you.
Okay, so the Pani Satyagraha being led by Minister Atishi in Delhi is obviously going to continue, but the plans for a big welcome for Arvind Kejriwal outside Tihar jail and at his residence, etc., that's going to have to be put off just for the next couple of days. But legally speaking, it's the weekend now. Next 2-3 days is when the Delhi High Court will reconvene, to deliver its decision on this bail. Nalini, what happens in the interim? Does anything happen procedurally in the interim at all?
Well, Shiv, for the coming 2-3 days, we can't expect any big developments to happen because the final order from the Delhi High Court is still expected to be out. But at the same time, we saw how the ED had in fact moved the High Court even without having the copy of the trial court order in their hand. So I'm not going to rule anything out when it comes to this case. What remains to be seen as to whether or not Arvind Kejriwal will actually walk out of jail. Of course, there are a plethora of legal options that are available, not just with the Enforcement Directorate, but also Arvind Kejriwal's legal team. I mean, just this interim stay that has been granted by the High Court, even that much it is possible that Arvind Kejriwal's team might rush to Supreme Court trying to get that vacated, stating that when the trial court has already granted bail, it makes no sense to continue keeping him behind jail. But all of that is speculation at this point. But from what I have learned when it comes to covering the Delhi excise policy case is that never say never. The Kejriwal bail order came as a surprise. The manner in which ED with the alacrity moved the Delhi High Court came as a surprise. So there are several more surprises in store, I'm sure about that. But what's interesting to watch out for is whether or not the High Court will actually reverse an order that is granted, like I was saying, not just a common man, but a sitting Chief Minister of Delhi liberty to be out on bail. Considering that's an issue about individual liberty, the court will have to give some very cogent reasons to reverse an order that has granted liberty to a particular person during the time when the trial has not even begun in this case. A very important thing that the High Court will be looking at is the kind of evidence that ED has against Arvind Kejriwal, because the trial court has concluded that there is not sufficient evidence against Kejriwal. In fact, the trial court has gone to the extent of saying that ED is making claims about receiving 100 crores as kickbacks, but only 40 crores of that has even been traced by the ED. A large portion, 60% of which the money trail has not even been established. So under these circumstances, how can the ED even call Arvind Kejriwal the kingpin? The second question that arises is that if the case against Arvind Kejriwal crumbles, then what impact will that have on the larger Delhi excise policy case? Because by ED's own admission, Arvind Kejriwal was supposedly the kingpin of the entire excise policy case. So if his innocence is proven before the court, because that's what PMLA requires, at this stage of bail, the burden of proof is on the accused to prove his innocence. Only then can bail be granted to him, which he seems to have done before the trial court, because that's why the bail was granted to him. So if innocence itself is proven, what larger ramifications will that have on the Delhi excise policy case, whether or not that will impact other people's cases, similar to Manish Sisodia and others who still continue to languish in jail, is something that we have to watch out for.
Absolutely, and I do want to talk about comparisons with the Manish Sisodia case as well in just a moment, but quickly want to play out for you some reactions from the Aam Aadmi Party itself. This was Sunita Kejriwal and others about what they said about attempts by the ED to get a stay on the trial court's bail order. This was before what just happened in the Delhi High Court. Listen.
अभी कल ही आपके मुख्यमंत्री को बेल मिली, अभी सुबह ऑर्डर अपलोड होना था, ऑर्डर अपलोड नहीं हुआ और ईडी हाई कोर्ट पहुंच गई ऑर्डर को स्टे करवाने के लिए। इतना ये तो ऐसे हो गया एज इफ अरविंद केजरीवाल इज द मोस्ट वांटेड टेररिस्ट ऑफ इंडिया। देश में तानाशाही इतनी हद पार कर रही है कि ईडी किसी को लिबर्टी भी नहीं देने के, मुख्यमंत्री के अगेंस्ट वो स्टे के लिए चली जाती है। अभी हाई कोर्ट में फैसला आना बाकी है, आशा करते हैं कि हाई कोर्ट।
Amit Malviya of the BJP is with us live on our coverage. Amit, your reactions to this interim stay that the Delhi High Court has put on the bail granted to Arvind Kejriwal by a trial court yesterday.
The Delhi High Court's stay on the bail provided by the trial court is a welcome step. If you read the judgment of the trial court, it very clearly says that the judge did not find the time to go through the voluminous document presented to her by the investigating agencies. Therefore, one is not quite sure what was the tearing hurry to grant bail to Arvind Kejriwal, but it seems that all facts and details were not pursued. It is without doubt that Arvind Kejriwal is the kingpin of the Delhi liquor excise scam. He was the chief minister who presided over the cabinet which formulated this policy. Therefore, he had a very active role in this entire process. There are several leads that suggest that money was exchanged. There is financial trail that has been established. A lot of money exchanged hands was also used for election funding. Now, given all of this and the fact that Arvind Kejriwal is not just the supremo of the government, but also the chief of the Aam Aadmi Party, his role is a defining one. And unless he remains in Tihar, he would be in a position to influence the investigation, to influence the evidences in this particular case. And therefore, the agencies have slightly sought stay on any bail granted to him. I'm sure the Delhi High Court will pursue the documents presented to them by the agencies and ensure that Arvind Kejriwal is not out so that he influences the proceedings.
All right, Amit Malviya, thanks very much for speaking to India today. We've got a live reaction coming in from the legal team head of the Aam Aadmi Party.
होने के बाद, क्योंकि बहुत लंबी आर्गुमेंट, मेन ईडी की ऑब्जेक्शन ये थी कि नीचे ईडी स्पेशल कोर्ट ने उनको पूरी तरीके से नहीं सुना, तो ऑनरेबल हाई कोर्ट ने पूरी डिटेल में आर्गुमेंट ईडी की सुनने के बाद हमारी आर्गुमेंट भी डॉक्टर अभिषेक मनु सिंघवी जी और विक्रम चौधरी जी के माध्यम से हमारी आर्गुमेंट भी कोर्ट ने सुनी और कोर्ट ने ऑर्डर रिजर्व कर दिया है और ये कहा है कि कोई रिटर्न सबमिशन अगर किसी ने देनी है तो विद इन 2 डेज वो सबमिशन दे दें और बाई मंडे या ट्यूसडे तक वो स्टे एप्लीकेशन पे स्टे इस ऑर्डर को स्टे किया जाए कि नहीं किया जाए, इस पे कोर्ट बाई मंडे या ट्यूसडे तक कोई ना कोई फैसला।
ईडी ने ये बात भी कही कि अदालत ने जो चीजें कंसीडर करनी चाहिए थी वो कंसीडर नहीं की, और जिन चीजों को कंसीडर नहीं किया जाना था उनको कंसीडर किया, और यही कारण था कि जमानत दी गई निचली अदालत से।
नहीं, देखिए उनके आर्गुमेंट में ये सब चीजें जरूर उन्होंने रखी हैं, लेकिन कहीं पर भी इस तरह की कोई भी बात कोर्ट के सामने इंप्रेसिव तरीके से ईडी अपनी यहाँ पर भी नहीं रख पाई। ईडी ने कोई ऐसी एप्रीहेंशन नहीं जताई कि ऑनरेबल चीफ मिनिस्टर अगर बाहर आते हैं तो ऐसी क्या उनके केस पे इसका प्रभाव पड़ेगा। कुल मिला के उनकी आर्ग्यूमेंट एक ही लाइन पे थी कि उनको पूरी तरीके से नहीं सुना गया, और जो जजमेंट आया, ऑर्डर आया है, उस ऑर्डर के अकॉर्डिंगली उनको ये लगता है कि भी एक बार इनकी दोबारा हाईकोर्ट में सुनवाई होनी चाहिए।
नसीर जी, कोर्ट में ये कहा गया ईडी की तरफ से कि जो ट्रायल कोर्ट है उसने अपने ऑर्डर में नोट किया कि उसने जो बल्कि मटेरियल एनफोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट की तरफ से दिया गया, जो एविडेंस वो दिया गया, वो कंसीडर ना करके एक डायरेक्ट फाइंडिंग पे आ गया कि जो है कोई एविडेंस मिस्टर केजरीवाल के खिलाफ नहीं है। किस तरीके से आप इस सबमिशन को देखते हैं और क्या इस बात में कितनी सच्चाई?
देखिए, ये ऑनरेबल ईडी कोर्ट ने बेल पे तय करना था। बेल एप्लीकेशन पे जब भी कोई डिसीजन होता है तो उसमें डेफिनेटली जो उस टाइम पे दोनों पार्टीज की तरफ से अवेलेबल मटेरियल होता है उसको कंसिडर करते हुए बेल दी जाए कि नहीं दी जाए, ये कोई फाइनल वर्डिक्ट नहीं है, कोई फाइनल जजमेंट नहीं है कि भी ईडी का केस कोई डिसाइड ऑनरेबल ईडी कोर्ट ने किया है। सिर्फ बेल पे डिसीजन आया है, और बेल का जो ऑर्डर है, इस ऑर्डर में क्योंकि वो कॉम्पिटेंट कोर्ट थी, वो कॉम्पिटेंट कोर्ट होने की वजह से उस जजमेंट पे ऐसी कोई ईडी ने अपनी सबमिशन कोर्ट के सामने नहीं रखी है।
45 के रिगर्स को कंसीडर करते टाइम मटेरियल कंसीडर नहीं करते,
वो सब कंसीडर किया हुआ है डिटेल में हमारी तरफ से। वो ऑर्डर पैरावाइज करीब 26 पेजेस का ऑर्डर है, कोई 1-2 पेज का ऑर्डर नहीं है। तो 26 पेज के ऑर्डर के अंदर लगभग 20 पेजेस के अंदर दोनों तरफ की जो भी सबमिशन और मटेरियल था उसका जिक्र उस जजमेंट के अंदर है।
Okay, so that was the counsel, the legal team head of the Aam Aadmi Party. Obviously, decisions being taken right now, like our legal reporters are telling us, there are some options before the Aam Aadmi Party at this point of time as to what they could possibly do. Before I return to them, Aishwarya is also with me. She tracks the BJP and government for us. Aishwarya, we heard Amit Malviya just now. It seems like a cautious response at this moment, because I think even the BJP would have been surprised by the bail granted yesterday.
Well, definitely, Shiv. You know, they were very, very surprised. At the moment, the Bharatiya Janata Party is sitting on the sidelines and seeing the entire story unfold. Because, you know, speaking from the point, you know, BJP at the moment understands that this is something that the court has to look at. And, you know, if we see any kind of statements coming in from the BJP, it will give more ammunition to the Aam Aadmi Party. They already at the moment are saying that the Enforcement Directorate is a puppet at the hands of the government. The government staying away from it and very clearly saying that these are legal procedures. You can question procedures, but how can you drag the central government or a political party into the entire mess?
Okay, very interesting. Kanu, if I could bring you in, Kanu Sarda, if I could bring you in now, you know, in such instances, does it seem the obvious thing to do right now for the Aam Aadmi Party to approach the Supreme Court? Is that what is likely to happen over the next couple of days?
Well, Shiv, the ED has approached the Delhi High Court only on the limited aspect of staying the operational part of the trial court order, in which, you know, the bail bond needs to be furnished. So they wanted to stay only on that proceedings at this point of time. And the Delhi High Court has, you know, heard the arguments only on the stay application and not on the entire merits of the case. Because the merits of the case requires a larger hearing, not just one-day hearing.
Yeah.
And because the ED counsels were only relying on the fact that, you know, how the trial court has ignored crucial facts placed before her, and you know, the trial court judge was in a haste, and the trial court judge also categorically told the ED counsel to cut down the arguments. And this is all, you know, what ASG SP Raju was telling the High Court judge since morning, that, you know, he's been given less opportunity to argue, and that is why. And this is the only reason. What if the High Court denies the Arvind Kejriwal's relief and he's being, you know, kept inside jail, then, you know, the Aam Aadmi Party can definitely move the Supreme Court and ask for the immediate relief, because it is the liberty of the person which is more important in this case, because a trial court order is still in operation, and it has just stayed only on the operative part that he cannot be released on bail for now. But the other findings will remain as it is. So until and unless ED challenges the whole order and saying that the order is completely bad in law and the proper hearing takes place before the High Court, things will not be an easy position neither for the Enforcement Directorate, neither for the Aam Aadmi Party.
Okay, Amit, just a quick piece of information from you. Who all are allowed to meet Arvind Kejriwal right now? I'm sure, there are people from the party, his family visiting him. Who all have been visiting him? How frequently have they been visiting him?
Sunita Kejriwal visits him almost every week, and in rotation what happens that sometimes it's Sandeep Pathak, sometimes it's Raghav Chadda, because he's back in the country now and politically active as well for Aam Aadmi Party. He has also visited Arvind Kejriwal in the past few weeks, and Atish and Saurabh Bhardwaj are the ministers who usually in turn try to meet Arvind Kejriwal in order to get brief from him as to how to tackle the governance issues and crises like the water crisis which has unfolded in the national capital. In fact, the water satyagraha has been something which was properly consulted with Delhi Chief Minister before it was actually planned and executed by the Aam Aadmi Party. Shiv.
Okay, so Sunita Kejriwal, who has become a very, very prominent face of the Aam Aadmi Party since the incarceration of Arvind Kejriwal, is also out there today. We've got images of her at the Jal Satyagraha today, where she took a direct shot at what she called the dictatorship of the government over trying to keep Arvind Kejriwal in jail. That's been, a running theme as far as this entire episode is concerned. But let me just take you through some of the arguments that have been made in the Delhi High Court today, and then I will return to our reporters. The Enforcement Directorate's arguments lead with the claim that they've got evidence that Arvind Kejriwal was involved in a 100 crore kickback demand. Now, bear that in mind, because there is a mention of this specifically in the bail order from the trial court. The Enforcement Directorate also says that Kejriwal's defense is complete partisanship in ED's every argument is what Kejriwal's legal defense has been. That this is not based on merit, it's completely partisanship in every argument being put forward by the ED. The ED argues that 45 crore rupees in cash has been traced and it was used in the Goa Assembly elections. Kejriwal's side's defense is that Kejriwal wasn't an accused in the CBI FIR or the ED's ECIR. To which the Enforcement Directorate's arguments say that Kejriwal is guilty of a money laundering offence. To which the Kejriwal defense is not a single penny has been recovered from Kejriwal or linked directly to him. The Enforcement Directorate's arguments are that Kejriwal is responsible for generating proceeds of crime. Kejriwal's defense: those who implicated the Kejriwal government got bail immediately. So the suggestion there is that those who implicated Kejriwal, those who turned approver, were rewarded by the central government. So the twists and turns in the Liquorgate case, like Nalini was saying, it's wrong to even expect or, make your mind up about what's going to happen in this case, given the very, very aggressive twists and turns that have happened so far. Nalini, coming, right back to you in that case, this entire case, the climax of it has pretty much played out over, election season. The climax of the election season turned out to be the climax of this case as well. And one cannot extricate... Okay, I'll come back to you, Nalini, in just a moment. BJP MP from Delhi is speaking. Let's just listen in to Manoj Tiwari.
हाई कोर्ट ने उस पे स्टे लगा दिया. हाई कोर्ट के संज्ञान में जो भी बातें आई होंगी, तो अगर उन्होंने स्टे लगाया, इसका मतलब कि कहीं न कहीं निचली अदालत के फैसले में कुछ कमी रह गई होगी. तो एक सांसद होने के नाते हमारा कोर्ट पे विश्वास है, जांच एजेंसियों पे विश्वास है, और हमें पूरा विश्वास है कि कोई कितना भी कुचक्र रच ले, दोषी को सजा मिलेगी और जो निर्दोष होगा वो बचेगा.
लेकिन संजय सिंह और आम है कि ये अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल है और कहीं ना कहीं मोदी जी जो है जाइब करते हुए दिखाई दे रहे हैं। मौकरी ये कहीं ना कहीं न्यायपालिका का मजाक बनाते हुए दिखाई दे रही है। उन्होंने ट्वीट भी किया है और आम आदमी पार्टी लगातार इस तरीके के बयान देती रहती है।
इसमें जांच एजेंसी और कोर्ट है। मैं तो कहूंगा आम आदमी पार्टी को कि कोर्ट का सम्मान करना सीखिए। अपराध करने के बाद आप झूठ बोल करके नहीं जीत सकते हैं, झूठ बोल करके आप बेल नहीं ले सकते। हमें कोर्ट पे भरोसा है, उन लोगों को भी कोर्ट पे भरोसा होना चाहिए और जांच एजेंसियां जो कर रही हैं उनके पास जो भी पुख्ता सबूत है, उसके खिलाफ अगर बेगुनाही का सबूत है तो उनको देना चाहिए, वरना।
And here's what the Enforcement Directorate's lawyer, ASG SV Raju, had to say about what's just happened in the Delhi High Court.
कोर्ट ने आज जो है केजरीवाल का बेल ऑर्डर स्टे कर दिया है। हमारी स्टे एप्लीकेशन जो है उसके ऊपर ऑर्डर किया है और फाइनल ऑर्डर 2-4 दिन में आएगा और मेन बेल कैंसिलेशन की जो एप्लीकेशन है उसकी सुनवाई बाद में होगी। उसमें नोटिस इशू हुआ है, आदमी का अभी स्टे दिया है तो उसके ऊपर से आप जो है जो अनुमान करना है कर लीजिएगा। ठीक है,
थैंक यू।
Okay, so in the next 2-3 days, just want to summarize what we're covering here for our viewers right now. In the next 2-3 days is when the Delhi High Court is likely to reveal its decision on bail for Arvind Kejriwal. An interim stay has currently been put in place on the bail that was granted to Arvind Kejriwal by the trial court yesterday. So Arvind Kejriwal remains in Tihar jail. He was supposed to be out of Tihar jail today. That's what that was the expectation. The Enforcement Directorate asked for an urgent hearing in the Delhi High Court. Arguments have been happening the whole day today, and now an interim stay has been put on that bail, which means Arvind Kejriwal, who was expected to walk out of the Tihar jail in Delhi today, will remain in jail at least for the next 2 to 3 days. It remains to be seen what the Delhi High Court will decide early next week. That's not for us to guess about or second guess. That's something that the justices will decide upon on that day. But in the interim, obviously, the political strategizing at the Aam Aadmi Party will be taking place. Will they approach the High Court? What are their legal options? We don't know just yet, but obviously high-level meetings will already be taking place at this point of time. I want to quickly bring in Nalini. Nalini, we had to go to that soundbite when I was asking you that question. In terms of the, we heard from the Aam Aadmi Party's legal team head just now, where he didn't quite articulate what recourses they will be resorting to over the next couple of days. But like you said, there are options before the Aam Aadmi Party right now. Can you summarize those for us?
Well, absolutely, Shiv. One way or the other, this matter is reaching the Supreme Court now that the trial court has given him bail. Because if the order goes in favor of Arvind Kejriwal, then the ED is going to knock on the doors of the Supreme Court. On the other hand, if the order goes in favor of the ED, then Arvind Kejriwal will move Supreme Court. So either way, the issue is going to go up to the Supreme Court. In fact, every single aspect of the excise policy case undoubtedly is going to go up to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court is going to have to give its final stamp of approval one way or the other. But what's interesting, Shiv, here, and the viewers also might find this interesting, is that usually the courts currently in the month of June are all on vacation. The trial courts, the High Court as well as the Supreme Court. And usually it's the junior judges of the court who have to come every day and sit and decide these matters during the vacation time because all of the senior judges are on the break. But interestingly enough, now all of the limelight is on these junior judges. Whether it be in the trial court where the judge Nyay Bindu yesterday granted bail, she was a vacation judge. Today, Justice Sudhir Kumar Jain from the High Court who was hearing this matter, single judge bench, again a vacation judge. And once this matter goes up to the Supreme Court, even over there, the vacation judges are going to be hearing this matter. So in none of the courts, the regular judges who deal with the excise policy case are not going to be the ones who are going to take a decision on Arvind Kejriwal's bail. So it's going to be interesting to watch out whether or not there is a difference in the way that the regular judges who've heard the excise policy matter have decided earlier in the case in comparison to how the vacation judges have now decided. Because where on one hand in the trial court, the regular judge Kaveri Baveja had even denied interim bail to Arvind Kejriwal. On the other hand, the vacation judge Nyay Bindu has granted him regular bail in the very same case. So it's going to be very interesting coming few days in the next week or so.
And we'll be watching without any rest what happens, the big build-up, because even though a couple of days to go for what happens in court, what happens in the political battlefield is not going to have a vacation whatsoever. Thanks very much to all of our reporters for getting us this big breaking story. As always, we broke it to you first here on India Today, and we will continue to bring you the biggest updates. Terrible news coming in. The death toll in the Tamil Nadu Kalakurchi hooch tragedy has just mounted to 53. 53 dead makes it one of the worst illicit liquor tragedies in the history of Tamil Nadu. 118 people remain hospitalized. Many of them are fighting for their lives after many of them had alcohol that was bootlegged. It was laced with methanol. And all of these people died terrible, terrible, painful deaths. Kalakurchi hooch tragedy death toll now stands at 53. This has been confirmed by M. Subramaniam, who is the state health minister in the DMK-ruled government in Tamil Nadu. 53 deaths, 53 families shattered. Most of the people are breadwinners of their individual families, making this one of the worst such tragedies in the state of Tamil Nadu. Let me go across straight to India Today's Shilpa Nair live on this big story. Shilpa, a tragedy becoming more and more shocking. 53 is the current death toll. 118 people still fighting for their lives in hospital, Shilpa.
Well, that's right, Shiv. In fact, a tragedy unfolding in Kalakurchi. In fact, so far 53 persons have lost their lives, and with more than 100 people undergoing treatment in different hospitals across the state. There is, of course, a lot of fear that the death toll may climb up even further. But this is, of course, one of the worst tragedies Tamil Nadu has ever witnessed in terms of illicit liquor. Just last year, 22 lives were lost due to the same reason, and cut to 2024 in Kalakurchi, 53 persons have died, and the death toll is expected to go up. This, of course, started with a group of men in Karnapuram area of Kalakurchi. They consumed illicit liquor, and that night, on June 18th night, they started developing symptoms, and 53 of them are now dead. And because, of course, given the magnitude of this tragedy, the DMK government is under massive fire from opposition parties here in the state. There's a lot of public outrage as well against the government, the manner in which the government has dealt with this issue, despite the fact that similar incidents have happened in the past. No proactive measures were taken to prevent this, is what many are accusing. That is why today we saw very stormy scenes in the assembly. Right when the assembly convened, the ADMK MLA started shouting and sloganeering, creating ruckus. They were evicted from the assembly. BJP MLA staged a walkout, and tomorrow, of course, BJP is holding a statewide protest on June 24th. The AIDMK is holding a statewide protest because they say the DMK government has turned a blind eye. They've not taken any steps to prevent or, crack down on the sale and production of illicit liquor, and that is what has led to this tragedy. But on the side of the government, they say we have taken the strictest action against the culprits. 4 persons have been arrested so far. The liquor that was seized from them, around 200 litres, were found to be mixed with methanol. Apart from that, several top officials transferred out, and some of them temporarily suspended as well. The inquiry has been handed over to the CBCID. A one-man commission also has been set up. But the fact of the matter is, many locals in Kalakurchi say that this has happened with the connivance of the police officials. This was out in the open. Everyone knew that illicit liquor was being sold, but nothing was done to crack down on this and prevent this tragedy from happening.
And the legacy, the terrible legacy of hooch liquor-related deaths in Tamil Nadu, it has been one of the biggest stains on the state. The crackdown on illicit liquor and the mafia that runs it has been an ongoing battle across governments, but clearly no government has done enough, and certainly not the current DMK government. 53 people dying is, if I'm not mistaken, possibly one of the highest, if not the highest, death tolls we have seen in the last decade as far as hooch tragedies are concerned. An absolutely heartbreaking scene has unfolded in this place we're talking about, Kalakurchi district, as grieving families lay their loved ones to rest en masse. It's actually a huge mass funeral 53 cremations taking place. Victims of this tragic Hooch tragedy claiming 53 lives and counting. That number is expected to rise. Amidst accusations of government negligence, protests are intensifying while authorities scramble for answers. Here's more. Bodies upon bodies lined up for a mass funeral.
These are the makeshift crematorium that has been created. 21 bodies of the 38 are going to be burnt over here, one after the other. It is happening. These are the beloved son, daughter, mother, father and children of the people of this village. The entire village has gathered over here and they are clueless.
What's left now are grief, memories and shattered dreams. This is the story of the many families in Tamil Nadu's Kallakurichi who've lost a family member and in some cases the only breadwinner to spurious liquor. The Stalin government in the state is facing flack over 50 deaths caused in the current Hooch tragedy. Many are calling out the callousness of the state government machinery in simply failing to curb the sale of illegal liquor. The opposition AIA-DMK staged a black protest against MK Stalin, while the BJP launched a scathing attack on the leadership.
Very unfortunate, and our Honorable Chief Minister has not gone to that place. He is sending Udayanidhi. So it is not a family program. The local people say it has been a practice for quite a long time. Why didn't they prevent it? And there is a strong connection between the DMK functionaries and these type of activities.
கிட்டத்தட்ட 146 பேர் இதுவரை இந்த கள்ளச்சாராயம் குடித்து பாதிக்கப்பட்டதாகவும் அதில் 50 பேர் இறந்துள்ளதாகவும் இது நெஞ்சை பதற வைக்கின்ற சம்பவம், நாட்டையே உலுக்கிக் கொண்டிருக்கின்ற சம்பவம். இதையெல்லாம் சட்டமன்றத்திலே பேச வேண்டும் என்று பேரவைத் தலைவரிடத்திலே அனுமதி கேட்டோம். பேரவைத் தலைவர் அனுமதி மறுத்துவிட்டார்.
The Madras High Court has sought a report from the state government. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Stalin says a probe has been ordered.
தமிழ்நாட்டின் முதலமைச்சர் முறையில் இந்த பிரச்சனையிலிருந்து நான் ஓடி ஒளிவப்பு நல்ல பொறுப்பை உணர்ந்ததற்காக தான் பொறுப்போடு பதிலளித்துக் கொண்டிருக்கிறேன். குற்றவாளிகளை கைது செய்துவிட்டு தான் உங்களுக்கு பதிலளித்திருக்கிறேன். திறந்த மனதோடு இரும்பு கரங்கொண்டு குற்றம் புரிந்தவர்களை அடக்கி வருகிறேன்.
3 suspected bootleggers have been arrested and they have a criminal history. The police are on the lookout for the alleged kingpin Chinnadurai, who allegedly supplied the distilled arak that caused the deaths. This is the second such tragedy in 2 years. Last year, 22 persons were killed after consuming similar illicit alcohol laced with methanol. But it looks like deaths are just a number for the DMK government. With Pramod Madhav in Kallakurichi, Tamil Nadu, Bureau Report, India Today. And an image that truly captures the devastation in Kallakurichi is this one that's been captured by India Today's Pramod Madhav and his crew. At least 45 cremations taking place at the same time on one single site. These are all people who belong to families where they were the sole breadwinner and they were all cremated together. It was like a mass funeral for the people who had been unfortunate enough to consume that illicit liquor. This is not negligence, viewer. This is murder that has taken place. The alcohol that was peddled to these people was being bootlegged in the middle of a village, in plain sight of authorities. So nobody from the DMK or the police or any of the administrative arms can say that they had no idea what was going on. We will be showing you ground reports about just how openly illicit liquor is actually being peddled in different parts of Tamil Nadu. We've got breaking news coming in now. Star actor from the Tamil film industry, Surya, has now opened up to slam the DMK government on this Hooch tragedy in Kallakurichi. Surya says the state government is encouraging voters to drink. An unusual attack on the DMK government. He says Tasmac shops are being opened. Tasmac are the government-owned liquor vends in Tamil Nadu, which have been controversial and a political football for many, many decades. Superstar Surya says prohibition ends up being nothing more than an election-time slogan for all political parties. You had Vijay, actor Vijay, who's taken the political plunge already, visiting the injured, visiting the ailing yesterday in a hospital in Kalakurchi. And now Surya has taken a direct shot at the DMK government, saying state governments are encouraging voters to drink and that all talk of prohibition is just useless election time slogans. Nobody follows up on it. Family after family, crying women have become the image and the face of this tragedy, where they say, don't give us rice, we don't want freebies, we just want alcohol to be banned, we don't want any illicit liquor being accessible by our family members. They have hard lives, they seek alcohol as an escape from their lives, and it ends up killing them. This is a terrible, terrible death trap into which the poorest of the poor, the underprivileged, are trapped in a cycle of fate in the state of Tamil Nadu. To understand the history of Pooch tragedies in Tamil Nadu and the fact that actors like Surya have now taken direct shots at the state government, talking about how prohibition is just a pipe dream, it's just a silly promise made during election season. Shilpa, the voices of the affected families is truly heartbreaking. The truth of the matter is, illicit liquor availability through Tasmac shops across Tamil Nadu, has always been a big political imperative as well. Any chances of prohibition, etc., which comes up during elections can never really happen. Is the government committed this time to get to the root of at least the illicit liquor mafia?
Well, yes, Shiv. In fact, that is what Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin said in his, in the assembly today. He spoke at length about the measures taken by the state government in terms of cracking down on illicit liquor. He says ever since the DMK government came to power, over 4 lakh cases have been registered and over 4 lakh persons have been arrested for brewing illicit liquor, and around 500 persons have been booked under the stringent Gundas Act, is what the Chief Minister said. Periodic meetings takes place. The police officials are constantly regulating and looking at the factories that produces methanol. But the cause of concern, the Chief Minister said, is the fact that methanol is being smuggled from neighboring states. Even in this case, even in the Kalakurchi tragedy, what the investigators have found out is that the methanol was purchased from Puducherry. So that, of course, the Chief Minister says is a challenge. But nevertheless, having said that, the government has listed out these several measures that they've been undertaking. But the fact of the matter is it's simply not enough, because if they were doing enough, this tragedy would not have happened. And in Kalakurchi, when you speak to locals, we've been getting multiple accounts. We've been speaking to eyewitnesses, we've been speaking to families who've been affected by this tragedy, and all of them say everyone knew that illicit liquor was being sold. The police knew, but nothing was done. This person, Govindaraj, his house is located in the heart of that village. It's right in the center of that village, and everyone knew that illicit liquor was being sold there. So how did the police not know that? So several questions are being raised at this point in time, and that is also the reason why the opposition parties say do not just transfer or suspend officials, but go into the roots of this problem, go behind the mafia, see if politicians are involved, see if local politicians are involved, see if there is corruption nexus between the police officials and those who are selling these the illicit liquor. So all of that needs to be looked into by the DMK government, and the government says that we are very, very committed to fighting this menace, because they say it's a it's a threat to humanity, it's destroying families in Tamil Nadu.
Okay, Shilpa, thanks very much for that. We're going to keep a very, very close track. Shilpa and Pramod will be getting to the bottom of the investigation that the state government has committed to. The case will continue, but we will not take our gaze away from this story. That's a guarantee that we give you here on India Today. Meanwhile, Karnataka's government under Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, who came to power in a landslide victory in the assembly elections in 2023 on the strength of 5 big welfare guarantees, has now been found struggling to keep his promise and deliver those guarantees to the voters of Karnataka. And that's the reason why the Karnataka government has roped in the multinational Boston Consulting Group, BCG, to come up with strategies to boost revenue, plug leakages, and increase revenue collections in the state in order to help the Siddaramaiah government meet its election promises. The BJP has called the move outrageous and claimed that this decision by the Congress government was like handing over the reins to the East India Company. Having conceded 19 of the state's 28 seats to the BJP-led opposition alliance in the recent Lok Sabha election, just a year after capturing power in a dramatic way in the Karnataka Assembly, Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah is under fire again. The state has roped in multinational major Boston Consulting Group as a consultant to help with suggestions to boost its revenue and is paying the global consultancy company 9.5 crore rupees for the job. The reason, the Siddaramaiah government is struggling to keep its poll promises to voters during the assembly election.
When you have number of senior IAS officers who's helping the state, why? Because earlier Yediyurappa ji was also chief minister, S.M. Krishna ji and Kumaraswamy was also chief minister. Under the dynamic leadership of all these leaders, Karnataka was always ahead in the country. But because of the misgovernance, I don't think any expert from the overseas is going to help Chief Minister Siddaramaiah.
Karnataka's finances have been under immense pressure since the Congress government in the state promised a slew of freebies during the campaign, something that brought them to power in a dramatic way. The 5 guarantees promised by the Congress in Karnataka are Griha Lakshmi, which gives 2,000 rupees every month to every woman head of a family, Gruha Jyoti, which promises 200 units of electricity free to every household, Shakti, which allows free travel for women across Karnataka and state buses, Annabhagya, 10 kilograms of rice to every member of a poor family every month, and the Yuva Nidhi scheme, which promises a 3,000 rupee dole to unemployed graduates and a 1,500 rupee dole to unemployed diploma holders for 2 years in the 18 to 25 age group. Karnataka allocated 36,000 crore rupees for the freebies in the last financial year. This fiscal, the financial burden could be as high as 52,000 crore. The Congress has rubbished the BJP's criticism for hiring Boston Consulting Group.
Government of India has engaged BCG for their financial advisor things for 2047. Vision document creation. Let Vijay Indra go and ask Narendra Modi, why you have given it to a East India Company, BCG, for vision document. Let him answer this.
As per reports, Boston Consulting Group has already suggested the state government focus on identifying new sources of revenue in departments such as mining and asset monetization. One of its many suggestions is to monetize around 25,000 acres of land near Bengaluru.
The Congress government claims that even when BJP was in power, they have taken suggestions of same Boston Consulting Group, including Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa and Bommai. And they have also claimed that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has taken the same group's suggestion for Vision 2047. And they have also questioned that will BJP call the central government that they have gone back to the East India Company. With you, journalist Shivamurthy Sagaraj, reporting for India Today, Bengaluru.
Now, just to be absolutely clear, governments hiring the services of a Boston Consulting Group or other big consulting companies is not particularly unusual. In 2017, the Niti Aayog announced plans to hire Boston Consulting Group for time-bound projects. In 2020, BCG advised the Andhra government of Jagan Mohan Reddy on decentralized development. In 2020, the Karnataka government also roped in BCG to attract investments. In 2023, the Union government engaged Boston Consulting Group to help prepare its 2047 vision document. In 2023, the Tamil Nadu government hired Boston Consulting Group to form strategy for its $1 trillion economy target for the state of Tamil Nadu. In 2024, this year, the Goa state government enlisted BCG to prepare Viksit Goa at 2047. So all of these states, and including the central government, have hired BCG, Boston Consulting Group, for various consulting contracts in the past as well. But the reason why the Karnataka story has become something of a headline and why it's kind of standing out, and I'll let Sagai Raj, my colleague from Bengaluru, take that question. Sagai, the reason why the 9.5 crore rupee contract that the Siddaramaiah government has given to Boston Consulting Group, is attracting so much attention and raising eyebrows is not because it's unusual for consultants to be hired for work like this, but because of the reason for it. The reason for it is directly linked to the fact that the state is visibly struggling to deliver on the 5-poll promises that the Siddaramaiah government had made last year, and which was actually the reason why the Congress government came to power in such a big way.
It is quite evident, Shiv, if you notice that the MLAs and minister had openly spoken about the guarantees. Few MLAs were quite vocal where they said that they are not getting enough funds for development. If at all, if the government stops, then we will get more funds for the development. And somehow the Karnataka government was pushing till Lok Sabha election. There are instructions even from AICC for state Congress government saying that they should continue this particular guarantees. Remember, the Karnataka was a role model for the AICC, where they have promised a similar kind of guarantees across the country if Congress is voted to power. So it will be crucial for Karnataka Congress to continue this particular program, but at the cost of development and at the cost of the money which has been flowing to the state treasury. So the Karnataka government has taken suggestion from Boston. According to the Congress leaders, they have said that it is not something new. When Yediyurappa was the chief minister, when Basavaraj Bommai was the chief minister, they have made some similar kind of decision where they have taken opinion of a Boston Consulting Group. And similarly, they are also trying to do how to increase the revenue of Karnataka so they can go ahead and fulfill the guarantees which has been promised by the state. But the larger question is how long this will continue.
Sagai, thanks very much for putting that into perspective for us. We'll keep a track of that story. We've got some breaking news coming in now. Pretty shocking. Congress MLA in Karnataka, Uday Gowda, has spoken out in support of Kannada actor Darshan, who is at the center of a sensational murder case of a fan, Renuka Swami. Well, this Congress MLA says Darshan doesn't have the mindset to kill, apparently. Here's what he said.
ಇಷ್ಟಂತೂ ಸತ್ಯ ಕೊಲೆಗಡಕ ಅಲ್ಲ ದರ್ಶನ್ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವ ಇರುವಂತ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸಿಡುಕು ಮನೋಭಾವ ಇದೆ ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲ ಫ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ನೂಕಾಟ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಂಥರ ಸಿಡುಕು ಸ್ವಭಾವ ಸಿಡುಕು ಹಲ್ಲೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಅಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ತಿಳಿದ ವಿಚಾರ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಇದು ಸಿಡುಕಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರನೂ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಂಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಕೊಲೆಗಡಕ ಆ ತರ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಷ್ಟಂತೂ ಸತ್ಯ.
Bromance, body language, camaraderie and the unexpected bonhomie between two big leaders, North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un and Russian President Vladimir Putin, sparking national, international interest in their countries and speculation about their evolving relationship. It's one of the most viral videos doing the rounds this week. Enjoy. We'll see you after this break.
A warm, gushy welcome. A drive in a park in a swanky luxury limousine. Drinks and gifts. Sounds like an ideal date, but it is not what you think. This This is the bromance of two of the toughest tough guys, isolated by their peers, showing the softies they are. A spectacle for the whole town, and Kim ensured they were there to witness it. By some accounts, two of the most ruthless men gifting each other dogs and feeding horses. Giving speeches and raising a toast, more reminiscent of a Hollywood movie wedding than a state dinner. Even more dramatic was the warm send-off, material fit for 1,000 memes. The two heavy-handed leaders shook hands and hugged as they said goodbye. Leaving the world in shock and awe. Bureau Report, India Today.